students, it's Miss Samantha, your spiritual community animator, and I'm going to start weekly videos for us to practice mindfulness in this time. So first off, why? Why am I asking you or inviting you to learn about mindfulness and practice it? Have you heard anything about it before? So mindfulness is simply being aware of our thoughts, emotions, the sounds around us, the sensations in our body, just being aware of what's happening right now in our body. Just like we spend time developing our minds for academics through studying, and we develop our bodies for sports and conditioning and exercising, mindfulness is similar. It's a practice that therefore we have to practice. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be giving you just small little 10-minute videos explaining a new concept of mindfulness and inviting you to practice it with me. So I hope you enjoy. And first off, know I love and miss you all. And for me, mindfulness has helped a lot in this time. Feeling disconnected from people. Every night I practice something called loving kindness, and I think of a lot of you, a lot of my students that I used to see almost every day. And so I practice visualizing you, seeing you, and it really does help me feel connected. So mindfulness has helped me a lot. And when I'm dealing with anxiety and depression right now, which is happening a lot more frequently than usual, I have these tools in my toolkit that I can pull up. Even this morning, I was having an anxiety attack, and my husband reminded me to just breathe in and breathe out. So mindfulness has a lot of tools that you can practice anytime, but I do feel right now maybe a lot of us are needing it even more. So first, a few questions. So if you still are not set on what this mindfulness stuff is, and you still think Miss Samantha is a little silly and you don't want to practice, that's okay. But answer yourself a few of these questions. Have you ever said something that you wish you could take back? Have you ever done something that later you regretted? Have you ever felt angry or out of control? Have you ever felt nervous or anxious about maybe a game or a performance? Have you ever been in a bad mood and you have no idea why? You just are. Have you ever been in a bad mood and didn't even know what emotion to call it? Have you ever felt like you needed a break and you just wanted everyone to leave you alone? Have you ever had trouble falling asleep because your mind won't be quiet and your body just feels restless? Have you ever been spacing out in class when your teacher calls on you? Or have you ever noticed how much better you are at something when you're really focused, right? Sports or music or even academics. When you're really focused and you're present and you're right there in that moment, we do a lot better. So our emotions are always changing. Difficult emotions like fear and worry and anger and stress, they happen, and they actually release chemicals in our brain that can stop us from learning and stop us from really thinking logically. This is happening all over the world right now. Everyone is pretty much stressed on a worldwide level, and a lot of things are happening, and it seems like it's out of control, and that's why it's important to stop and pause and to really practice these tools for ourselves. So mindfulness doesn't necessarily stop these emotions from happening. However, once you practice them, they can help you have the tools, hopefully, to be aware of them more and to sense when they're coming so that you can really help yourself and help others around you. So today, all we're going to do is learn about getting into our mindful bodies, practicing mindfulness in the right posture. Why do you think being in the right posture is important? So right now, I'm not in a mindful posture. I am leaning over. My elbows are actually on my knees. Spoiler alert, I'm wearing sweatpants. That's what everyone is wearing in any of these videos. Business up above and comfort below. So find your mindful postures. So mindful posture, facing forward. You don't want to be like sitting like this, okay? And your back has to be upright. Why do you think your back needs to be upright versus slunched over? So I want us to practice. Take a breath, sitting up straight. Just breathe in, breathe out. Now slunch over, breathe in, breathe out. Which was easier? So for me, sitting up straight and tall is easier for me to really get that deep breath. When I'm crunched over, I'm crushing my lungs and all my organs inside. I'm not giving my lungs the space to breathe, and actually my rib cage to actually have that space to open. So practicing mindfulness is about good posture, sitting up straight. Good posture helps us be focused. You don't want to be older and like have a spine like this. My grandmother had that. So it's good to practice this for many reasons, but mainly it gives our lungs the space to really get the oxygen that it needs. And oxygen is important. Breathing's important. Practicing proper breathing techniques can have much more of an impact on your overall health than anything else. We breathe over 20,000 times a day. And most people can't go longer than 3 minutes without getting breath, without oxygen. Whereas we can go quite some time without food, without water, without shelter, with all these other things that we think are so important. But we stop to really think and practice our breath, breathing. So sitting upright is all about giving ourselves the space to breathe, okay? Also, it's hard for a lot of people, but just practicing stillness for just a moment, practicing that stillness to just let your body feel, to let your body be. And quiet. Our world is not always so quiet. So just practicing quietness yourself. It's not always going to be possible to find a quiet place. I understand that. If it helps you to put in earplugs or listen to calm music, whatever works for you to practice finding some quiet. It's important for our brain to just have that moment, to have that moment of stillness and silence, to just be. So your body and mind need to be relaxed, but yet still alert. So if you're too relaxed like this, your body isn't getting that oxygen. It's not at the alert stage to just really be aware. And then up to you, but if you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. Okay, so we're sitting up straight. Our eyes are gently closing. We're silent and we're still. And we're just going to practice this. So for 30 seconds, until I ring a bell, I want you to sit still, with your back straight, and just breathe. Breathe in your normal pace. You can still keep your eyes closed, being still if you're able, and listen to the bell. So I encourage you this week to practice sitting still one time a day for 30 seconds. If you need to set a timer, something like that, or even just 5 breaths, just notice yourself sitting still, sitting upright, and breathing 5 times. That's all. So that's your simple practice for this week, and I'll be with you again next week for our next practice. So thank you all. Know I love you, know I miss you, and I'll see you soon.